But once we get to, the future meetings where we will need to do subcommittees around the youth summit and sort of the work we have to get done, we're probably going to do that within the meeting, create a breakout
room
option. That will, if we can't do that in this format, but we'll have to create another way to jump into another room and then come back to the meeting. So we're working on that. I'll have more updates for you at our next meeting. If we need to break into rooms, we'll have it set by then. And so
Maya, I just want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Besides the stuff that our goals already, if you have anything that we haven't talked about that you are really passionate about, or you want us to go over, or even see if we can make anything happen that we're not talking about currently, please let us know. Because again, this is your guys' youth commission, and we work for you guys and work with you guys. So we really want to know if you want something that we're not doing yet. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the future, will we have the chat option during Zoom meetings to chat with you guys privately?
We do not, because this is a public meeting, and everything that is discussed has to be public. The chat features will not be enabled at any time, because again, we have to do all of our meeting in public.
And then Maya, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're really trying to push to work collectively on big projects.
Yes.
And then splitting up into subcommittees.
Yes.
To kind of divide the work on specific tasks.
Yes.
But we're looking to work collectively versus in the past where everybody kind of worked on their own silos and own projects. We're just going to work as one unit.
Yeah.
And so just wanted to put that out there. So as we develop goals, it's going to be collectively for the Youth Commission as a whole, for all of you guys to really discuss and figure out what you guys all want to work on, not different groups and different events. We want to find common ground and just have one unit, one set of goals, one set of objectives, and all work together to achieve that.
Yes. And that's why the Youth Summit, we, again, in reviewing the kind of the mission and history of the Youth Commission, that was actually one of the intents, that there was this body of youth, not only representing peers, but also, through their year-long year of service, engaging what were some of the topics that are important for, Hayward residents, other youth residents, so that through the summit, we could address some of those. So, I can imagine this year, for example, that as we begin to really focus on creating a summit, I can imagine that some of the topics that we'll have to include are around what we've all been experiencing while sheltering in place, right? A lot of the health issues related to COVID, a lot of the mental health kind of impacts that's having on all of us, right? And also some of the social issues, social justice issues. So topics where we can engage in conversation, both people from all that can provide us information and resources on all those topics that I'm sure you will find more about as you begin to engage. And again, through social media, use those channels to, again, engage and, kind of have a feeler for what youth in Hayward are needing us to provide, workshops, education, and resources on. And so, again, the idea is we're going to start again with civic engagement, therefore some of our speakers, as Miriam said, would be around, you as young people voting, ways that we can be engaged in our community. And then through that, how we can, share out what we're working on and really promote the work of the commission. The rebranding that Vicente shared, that, a lot of you had great ideas on a new logo, a new, making our swag, our T-shirts, hats, things like that can really get our name, get the name of the Youth Commission out there. And all of that hopefully culminating with the summit in the spring as we get closer to the end of your year as commissioners, your appointment. So that's kind of the goal. You will still have opportunities for, getting your input. Again, on my end from Hayward Unified, there's always a need for us to just engage like around what we're doing and getting your feedback and presenting to you. Same with HART, same with the city. So those, opportunities will still occur. But the idea is that as we move to work on the summit, there'll be different subcommittees that work on different aspects of the Youth Summit. So that's really where we will kind of break off into teams. But the united goal will be so that we can make this Youth Summit happen, whether it's in person or whether it's virtually. Okay, does that make sense? Yep, great, thank you. So I wanna, this is also in your handbook, which hopefully you all got the link for through the agenda, and I made it so that it's easily accessible to you. But our schedule's on the last page of the handbook. And this year, it's no different than any year, right? We always meet on the first and third Monday of each month, unless it's a holiday, school holiday or, national holiday. We are going to meet again and 2 times in October. November, we only have 1 meeting in December because of the school calendar this year. We're exiting earlier. I think last year we got 2 meetings in December. This year we only get 1. And then January with Dr. Martin Luther King holiday, we only meet once. February, there's also the President's holiday. And so we will also only meet once. We have 2 meetings in March. April, same thing. There's always the spring break that happens one of the Mondays. So again, our goal is to really use these 3 meetings to sort of the 2 October meetings and the 1st November meeting to really sort of provide more of like an overview, bring some of those guest speakers we've mentioned, get you through at least started on the Facebook Youth Commission social media training, and then really use starting end of November, begin to really transition to the planning that we'll need to do for getting our Youth Summit, making it happen sometime again in in April or May. That date we're still looking at where that might fit best. Any questions so far in terms of our calendar? Good. The other piece that is a little different. Again, you all saw the photo of Sacramento. That's obviously a great trip. But again, given COVID, we're not really, making that as much of a priority. And what we want to focus on, however, is doing a Hayward leadership field trip. Which we also were planning on doing last year, but again, we couldn't make happen. But the idea, and I'll let Vicente talk a little bit more because I know he's the one that's really kind of has like a vision for it, but it's really you getting to know your city and really as a leader, doing a field trip out of that.
Yeah, so City of Hayward, the Chamber actually puts together a program called Leadership Hayward. I think Ivan has went through it too. I went through it too as well. And so I found it very useful and impactful because what we did, we won't be probably able to do it in the same format, but we were able to visit all the different entities in Hayward. So we went to the airport and got a presentation and a tour of the Hayward Airport, which I don't know if you guys all knew there's an airport in Hayward. We went to different nonprofits and got some shelters and got walkthroughs of services they're providing. The fire chief, we visited a fire station and got a tour of the fire station, met some firefighters, and got an overview of programs and initiatives and stuff that they're working on and their philosophy. HPD was able to come give us a presentation as well on stuff that they were working on. The Park District, Hayward Area Recreation and Park District, gave them a tour of some of our parks and projects and facilities. And so it's super useful and super informative because you get to learn of all the players in Hayward, and you get to learn of how decisions are made and what agencies are involved in what decisions. And it just gives you a full scope and overview of the city of Hayward and how initiatives and how projects and how agencies collaborate with each other, because and then you'll get familiarized with who the key players are in the city, and you get a good overview of the services in the city, so you can start to reflect and see what gaps or what services you guys feel are not around or not being provided. And so that input is something we can kind of work on and provide were directed with Maya and Ivan myself and kind of pushed to see, what programs are needed or what services are not being provided in Hayward. Once you guys get a full grasp of the services that are provided. Because working in Hayward for a long time, I didn't know some of the family shelters that we have, winter shelters, food pantries, food distribution centers, large businesses. I think we even got a tour of Casa Sanchez, took us to their warehouse, gave us a business model, talked to us about, employees that they have, and we got a lot of free chips and salsa too, which was pretty cool. But so we're really trying to devise something. And given the time, it'll probably be virtual, or given presentations, we'll invite the fire chief to come and give us an overview. And you guys could ask questions like, oh, why did you guys decide to do this? What do you guys do to address this? And able to give you guys really a platform with those key stakeholders in the city. So looking forward. I think it'd be super beneficial. It's not often you get to be in a room with like the fire chief or the chief of police or the CEO of a company or the general manager or a board member or superintendent of the school district and get asked questions that not everybody gets that opportunity. So we really want to allow you guys that opportunity to ask those questions to key stakeholders in the community.
Great. Thank you, Vicente. So that's, again, we think there's a great benefit to that. And again, we'll revisit Sacramento, but I think we really got excited about that idea, really just kind of like diving into City of Hayward engagement, leadership, and you're really getting to know, again, what's in place here at home. So that'll be part of, again, our field trips, and again, probably more towards after January. But again, we do plan on bringing some of our representatives to talk as guest speakers, as that is something that, again, will be really helpful. So even if we can, for whatever reason, do an in-person field trip, we'll bring them to us so that we'll do a at-home field trip in that way. The next thing is really to start talking about officers, right, for this year. So the elections will happen next meeting on October 5th. And these are the 246 positions that are up for election. The description of those is in, what is it? Let me add this in. It's in the handbook in more detail. If you go to, oh boy. Yeah, my computer is kind of done for the day. If you go starting page 7, that's where you'll find the details. So again, if you want to read more about it between now and the deadline to submit your intent to run for one of these offices, we have the chair, who again is sort of the responsible elected commissioner to convene us and preserves and sort of helps co-facilitate and in our meetings, and also appoints our committees. So really, the chair is, kind of like helping lead the commission in our meeting, working through our meetings. Our vice chair is again same thing. We, in the absence of the chair, they are taking their, standing in for them. And again, there's also another chair pro tem who, in the absence of both the chair and the vice chair, basically steps up to help get things going in their absence. So if it's, temporarily due to one of those other officers not being here, they would, again, make sure that we can continue initiating our meetings and proceeding with our business. There's also the secretary, which again, this year or last year was elect. So you are really helping with documenting, making sure you're taking minutes of our meetings. We provide you with a template, and also you basically are helping us I think Elect was also doing roll call, so that would be one of the duties. And again, minutes are an important part of our meetings because we have, again, us being a public body, a public commission, every time that we meet, our meeting minutes are recorded. We, in future meetings, will always review our minutes to approve them, and those then get posted in the city website. So those are archived, and the record of our meeting is kept that way. The deputy secretary would be, again, in the event that the secretary is not able to fulfill that role or act either temporarily or, ends up leading the role, basically they take on that role of the secretary. And then there's also the public information officer, which is responsible for getting communications out, right? So I know that those public officers that were in the role last year were really excited about really, doing a lot more communications outreach, social media promotion. So that would be exactly, even though it would also, we're all going to get that training, this is a particular role to really kind of be the designated officer to work in getting our information out. So this year we envision that being a little bit more of a role around, posting on social media and things like that. So those would be the 6 officer roles that are out for election. Any questions about them? Good. Okay. So the way that we will proceed with both nominations and then elections is you're going to get an email from me with a form that this is the same process we've done at least the last year that I remember, where you will complete it I put a deadline up here by the 28th. So you have 2 weeks to think about it and then fill out your form. Basically, your name, last name, what officer you are nominating yourself for, or you want to run for, and what's the statement, right? If you've ever seen a ballot or like people declaring their candidacy for anything, why do you want to run for? Why do you want this position? What are some qualifications that you want to share with us about wanting to run for this role within HYC? And then if you could add a photo so we can include that on the candidates ballot that we'll have out that meeting on the 5th. Any questions? Pretty simple, yes? Okay, good. And again, once it's done, we'll put together a ballot. That way, when we come on when we meet on the 5th, you'll all have an opportunity to vote. This year, due to the fact that we did not have, you all continued this year, the people who could not because they left for school or they ended their term, we actually don't have any alternates. So all of you are actual voting members, so everybody will be able to vote. So we're right at 22. And yeah, everybody's a voting member right now. So everybody will get to vote. Okay. Announcements, yep. So in terms of announcements, the other thing I'm going to send out is a bio form. That's for all of you as HYC members to share a little bit about yourself and something that we can put out there. And same thing, I don't need it by next weekend. I don't know what I need it by Friday. I'll change it. I'll put the date. I just need it by October 5th so we can have, we have sort of a profile of all of you that we can have and share out. And then we'll be meeting October 5th. Let's see, one with hand. Camila, go ahead.
I was just wondering if we're still allowing more than one public information officer.
Oh, great question. So last year we had 2 because when the voting happened, the election happened, the two people tied. And so when we brought it back to the commission to say, do we want a runoff or are we okay with 2 people? You all decided you wanted both people to be in that role. So I think if that happens again this year, we would be able to follow the same process. So, but I think people would need to tie for that for us to make it. And I can ask, but I think that would be the only way, because right now there's six roles. Okay, great question. Any other questions about today? Let me, again, you all are returning. If there are any questions, I think Miriam talked about our attendance, right? Please reach out to myself or any one of the advisors. I'm the one that usually sends the agendas, and so, you know, by all means, reach out to me. But all of our info, I included our emails on the handbook, so you know how to contact either one of us. But it is good if for some reason you're going to miss a meeting to let us know. That way we know, you know, that it's not, you know, you planned, but something came up, and that helps us just document and know again that you're still interested, you're still, you know, participating. And I think the other piece is just around, we'll get better around, you know, technology and accessing. There is a potential change of our meeting. We don't know yet, but because every city, every meeting that's been scheduled is through Zoom, there might be a need for us to meet a little later. You know, right now we're still good for 6:30, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that if there's a conflict where a meeting is running at the same time that ours is, moving forward, we might have to push our meeting to 7 p.m. So we'll talk about that, and obviously I'll give you plenty of notice so we can all plan around that change. Okay? Any other comments, questions, announcements? Good? All right. Well, with that, we will reconvene again on the 5th at 6:30. Be on the lookout for the agenda and the Zoom invite. Probably will be coming from me next time. That was the trial run. So wish me luck. I hope I send it out accordingly. And again, reach out to us if you have any questions. And review the handbook. You all have access to it. And we'll see you next month. Okay? Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night for everyone.
Good night.
The recording has stopped.
Hi, Maya.
Bye, Ivan.
Hey, Maya. Really quickly, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just got done working and I got here a little late. I apologize.
All
I really
good.
do.
All good. We'll check in. I want to stop this meeting so that it's over, and you, me, and Vicente can check in. But yeah, we're all good.
Okay, I apologize though. It won't happen again. I hope you know I don't do this stuff often.
Oh, I know, Ivan.
Okay.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
I will see you soon. Just let me know. All right. Bye.